there's a name that just popped up here in the chat, and it's a name that I wanted to touch on here, and it's Frank Ladson, the wide receiver transfer we got from Clemson, who's coming back home. He's from the area. There are many different feelings on Ladson. Some people truly believe that the issues he has are not fixable. They're not like Rambo's issues with drop passes. There's more to it that they feel. I understand the idea of wanting to bring in a target like that because we just didn't have a target like that at wide receiver. Yeah. But, like Chris is saying here, I think Frank Ladson is going to be the new guy who's going to make an impact. How big of an impact do you guys think Frank Ladson will make? We'll start with you, Jordan.
So I personally don't think that Ladson to Rambo is a fair comparison, right?
Yeah, two totally different receivers.
Rambo in his freshman year had an amazing season. I believe he had 700 yards, and was getting mocked as a first-round draft pick when he was eligible, right? So, and then he had a rough season his sophomore year, right? Having issues at Oklahoma, issues with the quarterback there, and just the way the whole season played out, it seemed like he needed a fresh start. Frank Ladson can't really hang his hat on the production that Charleston Rambo had, which is where my hesitancy comes in. My approach to the wide receiver room, I'm going into this year expecting nothing from Frank Ladson. And if whatever he gives us, we should just view as a cherry on top, and I'm not saying I'm doubting him. I'm just saying with a guy who has just the way his career has gone, I'm not really going to hang my hat on him until we start seeing there's some production, there's a reason why he was 5-star, that type of stuff. Right. So I'm kind of going into the season. I probably won't project him as a starter. If he does, it'll catch my eye and maybe I'll start to have a little more faith. But for now, I just think whatever we get from him is a bonus.
Yeah, I think I would have to agree, man. I mean, I don't think anything you said is disrespectful or anything like that. But when it comes to anything and any player for the year coming up, you're going to look at their past production, and if you don't have anything to look at, then how do I project what I think you're going to be? If you're at the University of Miami, we know you have talent, but what have we seen from you? You know what I mean? So of course he's a talented kid. We know he's a talented kid. He's from the area. Sure. If you get a scholarship to Clemson, you can play ball. If you end up at Miami, you can play ball. But at the end of the day, I mean, we've got to see the production. So I totally agree. I don't think I could have said it better myself. Whatever he gives us, it's a cherry on top. We'll take it. We'll embrace him as a Miami Hurricane, and of course, we wish him the best.
Yeah, I would love to see him successful here. It's just, it's kind of like I've seen what X can do. I've seen what Keyshawn Smith can do. I've seen what Jacoby George can do. Geez, names are rough doing these early spring shows.
Brashard Smith, all that stuff.
Yeah, Brashard Smith. Yeah, I almost said Brashard Perryman. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Brashard Smith. We got guys, and we've seen what our young guys can do, and at this point, that's what I'm going to bank on, right? I've seen them do it. I've seen them do it with a Hurricanes logo on their helmet. Anything that Frank Ladson gives us will be awesome, but I'm just not hanging my hat on it yet.
The one thing though, and while I'm just like you, I trust these younger receivers and I expect them to do well.
Yeah.
We still don't know which one of them we can hang our hat on yet. Who will actually be our wide receiver one? Because it's not just losing Rambo. When you lose Rambo and a guy like Harley combined, that means that players behind them weren't getting nearly as many touches because you had two NFL caliber guys ahead of them.
Yeah.
So what to me is more important is finding consistency.
Yeah.
With the wide receiver position. That's because TBD is so good. He's going to get guys open. He's going to make plays happen.
Yeah.
But as long as these guys run the right routes, show up at the right time, and actually catch the damn ball.
Yeah.
That's all I can really ask from them, man.
Dude, there is huge opportunity for Jacoby George this year because Keyshawn Smith showed me enough in his last 2 years that I'm very confident with him as wide receiver 2. Right now, whether he can make a leap up to wide receiver 1 remains to be seen. but I'm very comfortable with him as a complementary wide receiver. So that's kind of what I'm looking for this year is, are we going to be dependent on guys like X, working from the slot underneath, or is a guy like Jacoby George really going to, because we saw flashes from George last year where it's like, this guy is good, this guy is really good. And I would love to see him really plant his flag and like I'm the guy that's going to get you those 25-yard gains. When we really need points, like that type of thing. I'm going to get the separation downfield, that type of stuff. But I really am happy with the idea of Keyshawn Smith being very stable.
One thing that I do believe we need in this offense, and I believe it's a benefit for every offense, is a wide receiver who can simply take in a ton of targets when needed, can absorb targets when needed. That used to be our Braxton Berrios back in the day. We really haven't found that since then. I'm hoping that guy, Xavier Restrepo, can start to show that consistency for us, because when that consistency starts to happen as a possession receiver, it opens up things for all the rest of the guys. You can't just focus on one guy anymore. If X knows how to sit right over the middle and get open for 7-8 yards every single time, that changes how the defense has to approach the entire game. I've got to see us find a possession receiver. Do you guys think that X could be that, or is he still too young?
No, I think he can be that. I mean, I think that I think he's seen the field enough to kind of, fill out that position. But it also comes down to an offensive coordinator and a position coach developing him, like we've been talking about, and putting him in a position or giving him the free reign to, teaching him and then giving him the free reign to go be that kind of receiver. But I think he can be. I mean, he's shifty. He's a little guy. He reminds me of like a Wes Welker, type of guy. What's our guy from the Rams?
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp kind of guy. I think that he's a very versatile player. I think he can do everything from that position. I think he's a deep threat. I think he'll be a possession receiver as well. I think he'll be more valuable as a possession receiver, like you were saying. But if he can be that, that 3rd down and 7 guy who can get us the first, just make a catch and get down or get out of bounds and keep the sticks moving. I think, like you said, it opens up a few more pages of our playbook.
Yeah. Well, being a Bills fan, I watched a lot of Bills over the last 3 years, and it can't be overstated the importance of what Cole Beasley did for them the last 3 years. Like, that's exactly what we need. Is that like when it was 3rd and 7, I almost was confident. It's like I just knew that Allen was going to throw a low pass to Beasley, who's sliding to make the catch and right past the 1st down marker. You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what we need. And I think X can be that. I'm kind of penciling him in as our 3rd wide receiver, working out of the slot for that reason. I liked what I saw out of him last year. So I have some confidence in X going forward right now.
That kid has got some balls, I'll tell you that. Yeah. That kid has got some huevos, man, because watching him take, as a true freshman, with all the punt return issues we had, watching him take that punt off the bounce when everybody was gathered around him and get extra yards, bro, that takes big balls from a true freshman. Big balls.